I've been working on legs for 3 years. Okay, let me just keep it a buck. And if people could actually see my legs, they would see that they match my form, right? But you put videos up, and you can see that my legs fit my form. But there's always the random comment like, "But what about legs? But what about legs? But what about legs? Don't skip leg day. Don't skip leg day." Then you go to their profiles, and they got a donut in their mouth.
I listened to your video podcast you did with Talib on his People's Party, and you said that you didn't want to release Y'all I Need to Get By. Is that correct? Why?
As a single, I did.
As a single, yes.
Yeah, because I didn't want too much focus on it, and in my eyes, all the guys that tried to be sex symbols fell off pretty fast. I mean, for real, you know, with the exception of maybe LL, because LL is that's my idol, by the way. Can't do no wrong. Don't nobody say nothing bad about LL. But
you talk about a name that doesn't come up in that best rapper ever conversation. His name does not come up as much.
He's in mine.
He's in yours, right? As much as
in mine.
Okay,
sure.
But go ahead, continue.
But anytime a rapper took that route, and you know, and I'm not gonna name any names, but anytime they took that route where they was talking to the females, they lost the appeal of the guys because it felt like they were pandering to a certain audience that didn't include the fellas, even though the fellas show up to they don't just show up to the shows to see you perform. They know the honeys is gonna be there, so they gonna show up. That's why you see dudes at BBD concerts and you know what I mean, and so on and so forth, whatever. I just didn't want to fall into that category. I liked the grimy space that we was in, the grungy hip hop space that we were in, and I didn't want to step out into the forefront as somebody's sex symbol. And the song wasn't about that anyway, so when it was presented, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, you know. But like I said, these record label people, they're very smart. They may be shady, but they're very smart, and they knew what they were talking about. And Leo Cohen has never lied to me ever a day in my life. I don't care what anybody has to say about Leo Cohen. That dude never lied to me. He always gave it to me straight up too. A lot of love for Leo Cohen.
So I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I feel like but even though you didn't try to be a sex symbol, you have been put in that bucket anyway, whether you like it or not, because most of my girls, when they heard who I was interviewing, I was like, y'all don't give a fuck about anybody else I interview, but all of a sudden I say nothing, man, it's like, whatever. So I hate to tell you that you're still in that category. Does that feel kind of, I don't know, how do you put in perspective the fact that, despite the fact that no, you are not known as a dude, you're not like known as like a Drake or whatever, right, that women kind of put you in that category?
I ain't gonna lie, it's a kick in the head. I like it. I mean, who doesn't like to be admired, you know, especially to feel attractive? I mean, it's a great feeling, but in the same breath, I like to say it like this. It wasn't something, that's why the All I Need record was what it was, because it didn't feel like I was trying to be in that light. And the sexiest thing about being sexy to me is not trying to be, you know? And I think people, because you ask my kids, my kids hear shit like that, they're like, where? Sexy where? This nigga? This motherfucker? Really? But but you take it all in stride, and I don't know, man. I'm bashful, I guess. I don't know. You try and put yourself in a comfortable space and say, okay, well, I earned that. It wasn't just, I didn't pine for that. I didn't try to, prostitute myself to make girls like me, take my shirt off at every show type of thing. It just happened progressively, and I like that.
Yeah. But look, don't act like you didn't give us breakups to makeups, all right? I mean,
I
granted,
did give you.
You did give us breakups to makeups. Now, granted, that was not, when people, if they remember the lyrics, it wasn't a song that actually was highlighting us necessarily.
No.
Kind of song.
But everybody know a girl like that. Come on,
everybody
now. That's why
does.
They liked it. They love a girl like that.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a bop. So speaking of taking your shirt off, you have gone on an incredible, you like that transition, I know. You've gone on an incredible fitness journey that you brought people in on. And it was really interesting to find out how it started. It basically started out of insomnia, right?
Yeah.
So I think you said you've only been working out like for 3 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like hardcore dedicated? Okay. So what have you kind of learned about yourself during this journey?
I'm a warrior, baby. That I'm more disciplined than I ever gave myself credit for. And I think it's showing in my lyrical ability now and everything. I learned to slow down, take my time, focus on the things that really matter to me. I focus so much on, being safe for the clan and, Redman and various artists on the side here and there, but never left anything for myself. So now I'm leaving the majority for myself now and little bits and pieces for everybody else. So when the working out thing got to where I lost the anxiety about going to the gym and the headaches and the throwing up. And once I got past all of that right there and hit my stride, it was like, wow, if I can do this, anybody could do this. So who can I inspire next to get their ass in the gym? You know what I mean? To not even just get there, just to get up that day and take a walk, just to start that down that road to perfection, or not perfection, because none of us will ever be perfect, but down the road to just greatness and building up yourself.
Yeah, I imagine on this journey you probably had to give up some foods that maybe you loved.
No,
What food?
actually,
No, you
no,
didn't. You did
no,
not. Okay. All
no.
right.
That's the beauty of macros. You set your daily calorie rate and you measure your proteins, your carbohydrates, your fiber, and your fats. And all of that, your intake adds up to your overall calories. So I could pretty much eat anything within my calorie intake and my protein, carb, fiber, and fat intake. So yeah, everything's on the menu. Shit, I had Skittles last night.
Well, yeah. Well, that's even more encouraging to know that you didn't really have to give anything up. It sounds like you just modified and
Yes,
moderation.
and that is the key. If anybody tells you, uh, the majority of it is the weights or the majority of it is the cardio, they're lying to you. The majority of it is the nutrition. Once you have a great nutritional regimen, everything else is going to fall into place. And that story I was telling earlier about the anxiety and the stomach and the headaches and all that, about going to the gym and should I go today, and that thing, second guessing myself, left once my diet changed. And I started to see better results way faster, and the weight dropped, but the strength stayed. That's macros.
Mm. Um, so you're working out what, 5 days a week?
5 days, yes,
Okay,
yes.
5 days a week.
Each
Do
body
you see
part,
the
a body
okay,
part a day, a body part a
a
day,
body
yes,
part a day. Okay.
yes.
What's your least favorite body part to work on?
Legs, legs,
Why do men
legs.
hate the legs?
You know what? It's not even that. It's just that testosterone build up and all that, and just the sensation that you get. I'm starting to love legs now because I'm up to 315 on the plates, and I am so. I've been working on legs for 3 years. Okay, let me just keep it a buck. And if people could actually see my legs, they would see that they match my form, right? But you put videos up, and you can see that my legs fit my form, but there's always the random comment like, but what about legs? But what about legs? But what about legs? Don't skip leg day. Don't skip leg day. Then you go to their profiles and they got a donut in their mouth and they, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, don't. So you start to put up the leg day workouts and they still say, what about legs? What about legs? It just is so freaking frustrating. It makes me want to do legs every day and just post videos of just doing legs. Trust me, y'all, I would never be able to get up 315 in the squat if I was not doing consistent leg day. Damn it.
That's
God,
right. Tell
get
them
that out the
about it.
way. Gotta do legs,
Um,
man. You have to. That's how you get stronger. You kidding me?
you were an athlete, still are an athlete, I think, especially given the
Appreciate
way
it.
that you're working out. And it is. I saw you said that, because people have suggested that that you should have played yourself on Wu-Tang America Saga, and you're like, no,
No.
I couldn't play my younger self. I'm like, dude, you look the same. You look the same.
Look at,
They just give you some
nah.
beard dye. It's fine. It's all right. They just do you like they did Will and Gemini Man. Man, you can do this.
I love that. I love that. But then I'm taking a job from an actor that probably could have fed his family with that check. So I'm glad Dave got the part, even though Dave didn't need the money. That mother flossing,
Right,
right? I
exactly.
like Dave. Dave dope. Dave is dope. Good job too, Davies.
But where I was going with that is that you're a big sports fan,
Yes.
and you're a Jets fan. And right
Yeah.
now, they're still a little winless, right? They are barreling toward being added
Oh,
to
and
the collection
16.
of winless teams. So, so how will you feel if they do go winless this season?
You got to look at these things optimistically. That's a first round draft pick, right? How
Right?
could we screw that up? Let's do some Jet history of how they've screwed up first round draft.
I would say,
Anyway,
do you want the
yeah,
history?
I already know. Trust me, I know it. It doesn't matter who we pick in the first round. Yeah, it does. But the New York crowd is going to boo anyway. That's what we do. We boo
Even if it's
everybody.
Trevor Lawrence, because that's what y'all want, right?
Yeah, we do want Trevor.
Yes. Okay.
But you know what? I think Adam Gase has had a hard run of it, especially the pressure that was put on to him when he first got there. He had all the pieces. Injuries happen, ladies and gentlemen, but there have been a lot of questionable decisions in play calling,
Yeah.
with that
Like the
team
all-out
there.
blitz against the Raiders. It's like, what are you doing?
It was like, I was like, I don't like just
It
the
was hard not to say the conspiracy theories are right. Right? It's just
a,
like, who does that?
a noise came out of me that I've never heard come out of my body before. And it's like, why though? Why? And the defense hasn't been that bad in these last 3 games. Let's give credit where it's due. But why? Why would you?
Yeah.
I love the Jets. I'm a longtime Jet fan because one, I'm a Long Island kid, and that's basically Jet and Mets. Period. You know what I mean? And just the mystique of the Jets. It's like that green and white or that green and black is it just make me want to get out there and tear somebody's head off. We're home of the New York Sack Exchange. I mean, we had Benny Testaverde, we had the Big Tuna, we had Keyshawn Johnson, we've had Rob Moore, Long Island Zone, who I grew up with. I mean, what are we doing here? Because there's been a lot of times where we've had all the pieces in place and just could not finish. When we had Mr. Sanchez.
Some call him butt fumble, but we remember him how we remember him.
And if we could all get over the butt fumble, let's look at his stats. He was pretty good. In the beginning, he was pretty good, but then like you said, people don't pay attention to injuries, certain pieces of the puzzle that get moved around because of injuries, and he started getting his ass kicked. He wasn't the hardest guy in the world, and I mean those first, I guess 2 seasons, he didn't get hit as much, but when he started getting hit, then you seen it come out. And when you're playing Jet football, you got to have some kind of grit to you, man. You know what I mean? This is the home of Richard Todd. This is the home of Boomer. You know what I'm saying? You can't come up in here with the you don't, you know what I mean? Butt fumble and all. You just don't come in here and don't be tough. Period.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, you guys made it to the AFC title game with him. So
yes, we did. And he was great. He was great. But then, like I said, the people started putting paws on him that next season, man. And it's like, oh, Rex Ryan also loved Rex.
Yeah. So as you know, one of the biggest sports debates that's out there, and continues to be out there, and I think it'll be this way for many years to come, is Jordan or LeBron, who's the greatest ever. Where do you stand in this debate?
Can't there just be two?
That's not how this works, man.
I get it. I get it. But like, there were people from an era where Kareem was the man. Even, when Magic was still playing and Kareem had retired, and we were saying Magic was the man. Magic Bird. Everybody has, well, not everybody, because some people didn't have that dude in their era, but some people, Wilt Chamberlain will always be the best that ever did it. You know what I'm saying? Some people, Kobe will always, he the best. How come he's not in the conversation? But when you get to a LeBron James and a Michael Jordan, and you start to look at the work ethic of things, and if we get into the stats, the people around Jordan contributed a lot, and he was smart enough to get them involved. That was the whole plan. With LeBron, he carried a lot of that weight on his shoulders and showed up every time, especially that Warriors series. I mean, crown him now. Before we lose another, knock on wood, and I doubt we lose him, but crown him now. Give it to LeBron now. Jordan was great, but LeBron is a whole different era, and I'm gonna go with LeBron James, man. And a lot of people gonna hate on me for that shit or whatever and shit, but stats don't lie, brother.